am Detective Chief Inspector Nicola of Cheshire Constabulary. This has been a long and emotional journey for all of the families involved in this case. I speak on behalf of the entire prosecution team when I say that all of their babies will forever be in our hearts. I would like to thank all of the families in this case for their exceptional resilience and strength throughout this entire investigation. Their composure and their dignity during this trial has been truly overwhelming. The investigation into the circumstances surrounding this case started in May 2017. Since that time, hundreds of witnesses have been spoken to by a team of dedicated detectives. Many of those witnesses have returned to court on numerous occasions to give evidence. Without their honesty and their support, the families would not have received the justice that they have received today. I cannot begin to imagine how the families in this case feel today. I just hope that today's verdicts bring all of them some peace of mind for the future, and that we have answered some of the questions that they were looking for. Cheshire Constabulary will continue to support all of the families in this case in the coming days and weeks ahead. There will be a period of reflection as everybody comes to terms with what they've experienced here today. I will now pass you on to my colleague from the Crown Prosecution Service, Pascale Jones.
Thank you, Nicola. Lucy Letby was entrusted to protect some of the most vulnerable babies. Little did those working alongside her know that there was a murderer in their midst. She did her utmost to conceal her crimes by varying the ways in which she repeatedly harmed babies in her care. She sought to deceive her colleagues and pass off the harm she caused as nothing more than a worsening of each baby's existing vulnerability. In her hands, innocuous substances like air, milk, or medication like insulin would become lethal. She perverted her learning and weaponized her craft to inflict harm, grief, and death. Time and again, she harmed babies in an environment which should have been safe for them and their families. Parents were exposed to her morbid curiosity and her fake compassion. Too many of them returned home to empty baby rooms. Many surviving children live with permanent consequences of her assault upon their lives. Her attacks were a complete betrayal of the trust placed in her. My thoughts are with families of the victims who may never have closure, but who now have answers to questions which had troubled them for years. I will now hand over to my colleague Janet Moore from Cheshire Constabulary.
I'm a family liaison coordinator with Cheshire Constabulary. I've been asked to read out a statement on behalf of all the families in this case. Words cannot effectively explain how we are feeling at this moment in time. We are quite simply stunned. To lose a baby is a heartbreaking experience that no parent should ever have to go through. But to lose a baby, or to have a baby harmed in these particular circumstances, is unimaginable. Over the past 7 to 8 years, we've had to go through a long, torturous and emotional journey. From losing our precious newborns and grieving their loss, seeing our children who survived, some of whom are still suffering today, to being told years later that their death or collapse might be suspicious. Nothing can prepare you for that news. Today, justice has been served, and a nurse who should have been caring for our babies has been found guilty of harming them. But this justice will not take away from the extreme hurt, anger and distress that we've all had to experience. Some families did not receive the verdict that they expected, and therefore it is a bittersweet result. We are heartbroken, devastated, angry, and feel numb. We may never truly know why this happened. Words cannot express our gratitude to the jury who've had to sit through 145 days of gruelling evidence, which has led to today's verdict. We recognise that this has not been an easy task for them, and we will forever be grateful for their patience and resilience throughout this incredibly difficult process. The police investigation began in 2017, and we've been supported from the very beginning by a team of experienced and dedicated family liaison officers. We want to thank these officers for everything that they've done for us. Medical experts, consultants, doctors and nursing staff have all given evidence at court, which at times has been extremely harrowing and distressing for us to listen to. However, we recognise the determination and commitment that each witness has shown in ensuring that the truth was told. We acknowledge that the evidence given by each of them has been key in securing today's verdict. Finally, we would like to acknowledge and thank the investigation team and more recently the prosecution team who've led the trial to a successful conclusion. The search for the truth has remained at the forefront of everyone's minds, and we will forever be grateful for this. We would now ask for time in peace to process what has happened as we come to terms with today's verdict. I would now also like to read out a statement on behalf of the team of family liaison officers who've worked as part of Operation Hummingbird. On behalf of our team, dedicated family liaison officers, I would like to thank all of the families for the immense fortitude and extreme resilience that they've shown over the years. They have acted with dignity and reservedness during a very long trial, whilst hearing the most horrendous evidence. We are all extremely humbled by them. I hope that the support that we have provided to all of the families has been of some comfort to them during an incredibly difficult period. We have worked closely alongside His Majesty's Court Service to ensure that the families have been able to watch court proceedings in Manchester as well as remotely over the past 10 months. This has assisted them greatly in being able to view the trial with more ease. We would like to thank court staff for all their help with this. Whilst today's verdict can by no means relieve the suffering that families have gone through and are still going through, we hope that will bring them some comfort. Our thoughts remain with you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.